I've been in mental health now for about 15 years. I started out working with children and young people on a crisis line. And that kind of was my kind of introduction into therapy and counselling work. I did that for a couple of years and I really, really enjoyed it. Loved being there for the young people on the other end of the telephone. And that kind of gave me the energy really to kind of continue on and start my formal training. So I did my diploma first in counselling, and I went on ahead and did my BA honours degree in counselling, and then I went on and did a master's degree in mental health and recovery, because I realised that actually I am really passionate about counselling and mental health as well. And so that master's program that I did was just the kind of icing on the cake, if you like. It was really good. Really expanded my mind around therapy and things like that, things of that nature. So I was able to take a lot of things that I learned on my master's and bring it into my practice. My background is, I come from a really loving family. Have always had a lot of people around me, and I've also been a witness to a lot of people who have struggled with their mental health over the years. And so I would always encourage them to get professional support. And, it was during that process, along with working with my young people, that I thought, yeah, this is the work for me. I really get a buzz out of supporting and encouraging people. So I have my diploma in counselling, which is my level 4, which is kind of like the standard, kind of the beginning of being a counsellor. I've then gone on to do my BA honours degree in counselling at Greenwich University. After that, I went on to do my master's in mental health recovery and social inclusion at Hertfordshire University. In addition to that, I am an accredited member of the MBACP, and I'm also a clinical supervisor. I've also done some work for the National Health Service and went through a training program with them to become a high intensity counselling for depression counsellor. So I have that qualification as well. In addition to that, I've done lots of kind of CPDs around compassion focused therapy, CBT, solution focused therapy, and humanistic therapies as well, in addition to being an integrative therapist. Oh my gosh, so in my free time, I absolutely love to walk. I am a naturist person, so I like to get out in nature. I'm really privileged to have a massive park where I live that adjoins a forest, and so I love to bathe myself in nature. It's so soothing. I also like to meditate, hang out with family and friends, and watch a good box set too. So I have a lot of experience working with adults and young people who've experienced anxiety, stress, depression, people who are a little bit lost, not quite sure what they should be doing, kind of lost their meaning or sense of purpose. I have a lot of experience with working with self-harm, especially with young people. I also have experience with working with people who've experienced sexual violence. I had about 2 years working in rape crisis over here in London. So I have an extensive experience with working with trauma as well. I would describe my approach as it's very integrative. So I do adapt my approach to fit the needs of my clients. I draw from lots of different theories and concepts. So at the base of my integration is humanism and person-centered. So, I believe in, unconditional positive regard, empathy, listening, all of those kinds of things. I think those are kind of fundamentals that need to be present. But along with that too, I'm also very intrigued by the cognitive process and kind kind of cognitive reframing. So thinking about what you're thinking about and how that might impact on the way that you're feeling, and some of the things that you're doing. I think thoughts are very powerful. So I do like to explore that. I'm also inspired by the story. So whatever the client is presenting as their narrative, and looking at that with them on the journey, and trying to see now what's relevant, what's new, what might need to be changed or updated on that narrative, because I think we tend to align ourselves with narratives from years ago that aren't actually even relevant at this point in our lives. So I like hearing about the narrative. I like being curious around that, but I also like the cognitive areas as well. In addition to that, I am very creative. I pull from different types of interventions, and I create a unique one for the person sat in front of me based on what they're sharing with me, how they see life, how they interact with the world. I kind of adapt and morph to meet them, to reach them. I think that everyone comes in to therapy with their own language. And I'm not talking about whether they're Spanish or French or anything like that. I'm talking about this idea that they come in with their own language of what life has been like for them. And what I try to do is become really proficient really quickly with their language. And I do that using the tools that I have acquired over the years through the various different therapies that I have trained in. So I love it. I love what I do. I work very collaboratively. I'm very inclusive. And so I allow people to tell me who they are and what's important to them. And I'm always thinking about cultural impact, societal impact, any race impacts. So I'm always very curious about how things are for that particular person. I never jump to any kind of assumptions or conclusions based on my experience, but rather I am led by my clients. I need them to tell me how they experience life and what the experience has been. And that enables me to ensure that I'm working in a really inclusive and adaptable way. I consider it's been such a privilege for me to have been exposed to a diverse client base that I have had, which I did on purpose. I made it my intention after I trained and qualified that I wanted to work with lots of different client groups to ensure that I had a vast kind of diversity base behind me, so that I knew a little bit more about how I could engage and connect with people. I consider it a complete privilege to have had that. And I continue, every time I meet someone, it's someone new, it's someone unique. It has a whole new unique view on the world and life. And so I take that in, I absorb that, and I learn as I go along. It's been a real blessing for me. I think for me, what I like to do is set the scene. So I let them know that, this is a safe space. I let them know that this is a confidential space. I let them know that there's no pressure, that they can share as much or as little as they feel that they need to in that moment, because I'm a perfect stranger to them. And so I understand that too. I think coming into therapy, I think you have to be incredibly brave and incredibly courageous. And so I consider that I'm really grateful, and I feel really quite privileged to be a witness to that bravery. So I'm really gentle. I take my time. I ask open questions. I don't pry. I let you tell me. I give you the time and space to tell me your story. And then based on that, I like to think we can work collaboratively to find a way forward as to the way that we work. But rest assured, I'm really empathic, really relatable. I hope I'm really easy to talk to. And so I think all of that aids people in being able to tell me their story and tell me what's going on for them. For me, success is when a client gains a deeper understanding of themselves and what drives them. It's incredibly meaningful to see someone start to accept themselves more fully, become more aware of kind of maladaptive or unhelpful patterns. and move closer to the goals that they've set. Watching that kind of progress, no matter how big or small, is the most rewarding thing for me. And I think that's what makes it successful for me. I have balance in my life. I take a lot of time. I take a lot of vacations. I spend a lot of time reflecting. I enjoy my times when I'm not working. So if I'm not working, I'm enjoying the time that I have, whether that's with friends or family, whether that's spending time reading or meditating or going for walks or doing something more adventurous. I have a real balance, work-life balance. And I think that helps to keep me really balanced and far from burnout, because I do take such good care of myself. I think that's essential. If I'm doing that really well, then that means I'm able to give my optimum and my best to the people that come to me for help and support. And I think it's good modeling as well. It's like, I can't be telling you to take care of yourself if I'm not doing the same thing, right? So yeah, I think it's really important that we practice what we preach. I went to Cancun, had the best time in Cancun. I actually went to a retreat. It was a meditation retreat, actually. It was beautiful, beautiful Cancun, beautiful people, lovely food, lovely weather, just a paradise, really. I felt incredibly blessed and grateful to have had the opportunity to go to Cancun. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Okay. So I think what sets me apart has to be my passion. I'm really passionate about what I do. I think that comes across. Sometimes I do have to contain myself because I realize how passionate I am. I think I'm really passionate. I've got a lot of energy. I'm very intuitive and adaptive. And I think I have a lot of empathy and I have a lot of time, right? If you've been brave enough to pick up the phone or join a meeting and a session with me, then I have time for you. You know, as long as it takes for us to get to where you want to get to, I have the time.